what to do. There's caffeine on the house, it's active, radioactive. Loving you felt like dying on the operating table, like climbing a ladder till I give up and fall. Like the anesthesia didn't work, and I feel the creation of every scar. Like a movie I'm chained to.
Wait, really quick, guys, I have to tell you about my GoFundMe for my music career. I have a GoFundMe for my music career starting from $0, raising money for ads to grow my audience and to reach record labels. If things grow, then I will eventually be using that money to turn my YouTube demos into full professional real recordings. And help me to go as far as possible. I bet if you guys will do your best to help me and to invest, you guys could probably turn me into the biggest pop star in the world. It's just going to really depend on how much you guys are willing and able to help me. So please do what you can to help, and I love you. Mwah. Bye.
I have 1 penny to buy this iced coffee, but this is everything you gave me. How did you know the gum on the ground was yours if you've never seen it before? There are no refunds for this part of me. Don't forget where you were when we met. I wanted to be liquidated, but they haven't found me yet. I'll spell it out for you when I'm free. There's disrespect in the water and the liquor can. I have some Doritos. I think they're like healthy ones. Yeah. Which means the seasoning is like less spicy and there's different flavors. Because the corn is US grown. They're still pretty good. But like they're good like a Sutton chip is good. You know? I'm like a little more seasoned, you know? But like, yeah. It's good like that kind of good. It's not like some weird like spicy Cool Ranch good, right? It's like white cheddar good. Oh, it's like nacho, I guess. I should have like potatoes with sour cream. And this is breakfast, but it's pretty late in the day. Wait, I'm gonna see what time it is. I'm gonna be back, okay? That'll be funny because it's so late. Yeah, so it's 8:39 at night. 8:39 at night. But it's fine because I wrote a song and sung it, and like I haven't put it out yet, but it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be called Rotten Potatoes because eating potatoes for breakfast was very inspiring for some reason. It's really not about the potatoes, but yeah. Does it count as breakfast if it's nighttime? Or is it only allowed to be dinner? Does it matter? Can you eat lunch in the morning and then breakfast for... I know, like, oh, well, you could just eat eggs. That's not what I mean. I mean, like,
What if somebody eats like broccoli for breakfast at night? Actually, I don't like broccoli. I don't know why people bother with like healthy food that much, but like also, no offense, but like don't be the size of an elephant and then die. So like don't do that either, you know? But like, why are you gonna sit there and eat broccoli? Also, you've got to be like in between, or I don't think that's healthy. But like potatoes is fine. Like it's just a potato, but like it kind of feels like you're eating like French fries but with sour cream as the dip. It's just not fried, and it's just a whole potato. You know? This is really the era of living vicariously in my life, which is ironic because that's what the rest of my life was. But like, you know, how do people not get that life and get a different one? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna be unhappy just because the world I'm living like doesn't have a lot of the things. I think my mindset and like the way I'm like situated in my life, it's like the planet I'm on might as well not even have anything that I don't have access to in the exact like present moment. So it's like I'm not even gonna be like, oh, like I'm not gonna be a jealous person and be like, oh, I wish I could do this and that and like that's what you have. Like I don't care about that. I don't actually care about that. So I'm just living on an entire planet that doesn't have access to anything at all. Well, I mean, I have like food and stuff. Like I'm not like dead. Anything other than that, the planet I'm living on has not discovered or invented it yet, if that helps. I'm not like, wow, the planet like put somebody on the moon. Like I didn't go to the moon. The planet did not put anybody on the moon. Nobody's been to the moon. Nobody real has been to the moon. I have not been to the moon yet. Okay? I kind of encourage this mindset. Nobody real has access to that, like, because I don't, you know? It's way healthier than being like, when am I gonna get to do that? Because they got to do that. It doesn't mean anything. Nobody real has ever gotten to that. It was just supposed to look that way, okay? That's how it is. Those were just the fake ones trying it out for you, in case you ever get to, but they haven't invented that yet. The good version doesn't exist. Or you would have it too. I need more sour cream. Potatoes are not good without sour cream. Like, it's not worth it. Okay? It's not even like 1% worth it. One of the strangest things that ever happened in my life was that at any phase of my life, nobody wanted to see me as like smart. They wanted to see themselves as mentally disabled for not being on my level if they were not. They couldn't raise what they thought my IQ was in their mind. They decided they were mentally disabled. But like that happened like across the universe, okay? wherever I went, people wanted to see me as average so deeply that when they couldn't beat me at something, they decided they were mentally disabled, but everybody else was on my level. Because the ego couldn't, like, suffer that. They couldn't be like, oh, you're, like, a little more intelligent than I thought. They decided, no, like, instead of adding, like, imaginary IQ points to me, they took them away from themselves so that they could pretend there were other people they thought were, like, on my level more commonly. Like, you guys could have just, like, not had such a large ego that you, like, identified as, like, extremely disabled only because you weren't on my level. You could have calmed that part down and been like, you know, oh, maybe this person does know something that I don't know, or that some people don't know, instead of being like, this is not someone who knows anything that anybody else could possibly not know, I just didn't know. Like, what? Okay? Like, there's the whole concept of like, well, people weren't taught, you had to discover stuff yourself, right? But if I had already discovered it, they would decide the baseline of the planet was having already discovered stuff. So theoretically, I didn't really invent the concept of, if I haven't experienced it, nobody's experienced it. Because people were already doing that to me before. I just get to sound cool for it. Oh, that's a little mosquito. I thought it was actually a spider. Okay. Sit right here. I was thinking the other day, and I don't think I made a video of it, and I think it would be kind of weird and controversial, and also like, why am I reading so far into it? So, I'm not Christian, I've never been Christian, okay? But throughout the years, people who were older than me were like, oh my god, you have to read the story of like Adam and Eve. And you're like 7, you're like, why would I read the story of Adam and Eve? Isn't that a little bit inappropriate? It's the story where you find out everybody who's ever existed was incest. Oh, and all the animals are like mating, that's why there's only 2 of them. Or something. Like, or that's Noah's Ark. But like, you know, like that's a little bit inappropriate. Like, that's a little bit inappropriate. It's kind of sad. You want a 7-year-old to find out about that? Like, I don't know. It's kind of a lot, right? Everybody's a descendant from these 2. That's scary. This is like, this is worse than Squid Game. It is, like, way worse. Yeah, what? That's so scary, but... There were some people who would be like, oh my god, do you know the story of whatever the fuck, and someone else? Okay. And like, those were never stories that were like meaningful or true. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure, yes, historically, everybody's incest not because of Adam and Eve, okay? If you trace back, like, in science and stuff, well, I'm a witch, I'm not an atheist, but if you trace back in science, in, like, genealogy, everybody just shares, like, a million common ancestors. Like, like, maybe not a million, but, like, a lot. Like, so many times. It's like, wow, everybody who currently exists traces back to this one person. But, like, before that, we're pretty sure that happened again, and then that happened again, and that happened again, like... Spontaneously, one person would decide to father or mother the entire species, right? Like, genetically.
people had some stuff they were into, and it was really bad. Because, like, you know, they're gonna decide we're not, like, as genetically diverse anymore. That's one person's choice? Like, that's weird. Whatever. Oh, but don't worry, everybody else died, and that was, like, so helpful. Because it wouldn't have worked if everybody else didn't die. Except for them and their descendants, so I guess they got lucky with that one. Oh, but, like, the part that I wanted to talk about, or I wanted to say, the movie The Corpse Bride is a little bit like the story of Adam and Eve and Lilith, okay? Which they take Lilith out, which doesn't make sense, or they try to. But, like, Adam's first wife, Lilith, okay, so, like, in The Corpse Bride, there's 2 women, a man, and a tree. What's the tree, you're wondering? The Corpse Bride, when she was alive, she was murdered and, like, laid under a tree. And then that's how she crossed over to become the Corpse Bride. To then try to, like, groom Victor into a relationship with her. But then that relationship ended up being the wrong person. Okay? And, so she kind of gives up. Decides not to kill him because her plan was to kill him so they could be together forever. But then, spontaneously, like, in the exact same moment that Emily, the Corpse Bride, gives up on Victor and tells him, like, you should be with her instead, he just marries Victoria instead. Like, last minute. So, in Adam and Eve, with Lilith was Adam's first wife, but, like, or whatever, like, created first for him, but she was, like, super special, like, super, like, more important than Adam, essentially, right? Because she was willing to stand up to him, be like, I'm better than you, all that, okay? Which, like, as she should be if it's true and stuff, but, yeah. Because, like, Adam never did anything interesting. They have the tree. Actually, I think they have multiple trees. I think Lilith has a tree, and then I think Adam and Eve share a tree. So, something like that. Lilith pretty much refuses to lay under Adam to have sex with him. So then she gets, like, kicked out of the fairy tale, and God says, oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen. That normally isn't what happens. None of the other animals did that. I'm gonna make Eve. I'm just gonna take one of his ribs and do it all over. Okay, 1 second. My phone ran out of storage really quick. Okay. So, oh, low power. This is, like, getting so interrupted. Anyway, yeah, God's like, oh, none of the animals did that before. I don't know what happened. I tried to make, like, a dominant species on the planet, and they started to be dominant, and I don't know what's happening. Lilith runs away, all kinds of bad stuff happens to her, and then she becomes, like, a dark goddess or something, I don't remember. Yeah, like, way more powerful than them and stuff, because she just had to rebel. But of course the Christians were like, that's not the important part. We want to take away that part. We're scared. We don't know why Lilith would say no to. Like, we don't want to remember that women just do that sometimes. Like, we don't want to remember that's possible. Super important to get that part out, because that's scary, you know?
Anyway, if Adam and Eve are meant to be together, and Victor and Victoria are meant to be together in the stories, right? But there's like this more superior woman who gets in between them, who has some disturbing situation happen involving a tree, or there's some kind of like weird tree in the story, okay? I think Lilith turned into a tree at some point. I don't really know. There's like some kind of story about that, okay? And then it was like, I think a tree that people were like abusive to or something. Like, I don't know what they did, but something like that, okay? So it's sort of like her crossing into the underworld, if that was part of it, which is what the corpse ride did. So the helpful part is that maybe, to create the movie The Corpse Bride, or the story of it, they might have, like, modeled it after hearing about Adam and Eve and Lilith, that version of the story, or been, like, inspired by it. That's my theory, is that they're supposed to kind of be those people, just like their own modern version. I'm like, that's not even necessarily interesting, it's just part of it. That's what I see. Anyway, I guess what I wanted to say is we have no reason to believe or no evidence to suggest that Lilith and the Corpse Bride are not either used interchangeably, or they're like overlapping myths or something, or, you know, inspired by each other. We don't have a lot of reasons to believe that they're not the same person, just depicted differently. Same thing with Victor as Adam and Victoria as Eve. I live such a gothic and philosophical life without ever leaving my house. The only difference between me in a past life and me now is that back then I went places. Actually, I'm very different. But what I did get to do is your psyche is different in every lifetime, because your spirit guides have different patterns of what they're allowed to talk to you about. And so I got to actually have the old spirit guides back for like a day or like 6 hours or something. Like, I've done that before. I've done that like 2 or 3 times. They're not really better. They're more like kind of weird. But I got to do that so I can know the differences. Like, what kinds of things would I occupy my mind with without choosing to all the time? I don't do it a lot, because it reminds me of how I died in that lifetime, and it makes me think about it a lot. Like, oh, did this lead to that? Like, and yeah, probably prolonged, like, spirit guides wanting to talk to you about, like, weird stuff. Probably can. Lead to the karma of you dying. But it was also weird, because it was like I didn't sit there and like choose to have certain thoughts. My spirit guides would just cause that, because it was what I was trying out for that lifetime, to see what it was, I guess. I have some kind of weird Oreo ice cream, but there's like pieces of bread in it. Oh, with a fork. Because it's the opposite of what I did yesterday, okay?
Yesterday I had a spoon, and so a fork is the opposite. Because with the spoon, I waited for the ice cream to melt before I ate it, and then ate it with a spoon, and that was miserable. But that was a cookie dough ice cream, so I just only ate the cookie dough out of it, okay? And now I'm just only eating the part that can't melt because, or it didn't melt because it's a fork, so I know that the part that's melted like drips through it, you know? It's how you try multiple things in your life so you can know you were like adventurous and a good person and stuff like that. Like that's what you do. That's all you do. Now, why do I have a very Gothic philosophical life? Because I'm always thinking weird stuff. Because I feel like I pretty much did all of Earth, and I'm just here. And I don't really know what I got out of it, or what you could possibly get out of yours. So, yeah. But it's fine. There's good stuff out there. Like, you can play Minecraft. And there's probably other good stuff. I don't know what else, but there's probably other good stuff. And Minecraft is only fun sometimes. You can make tea with just a tea bag and water and then make it hot, you know? And like, what's good about that? Not a lot. You have to drink it really fast and pretty much burn yourself, or you're just gonna be drinking cold, dirty water. But there's that. And like, you know, that experience is so good while it lasts for like 4 seconds. Everything else is kind of boring. Just what it is. Like, it's not me. I'm not like unhappy. I can just look at anything and it's like, well, I can't pretend it's interesting. Like, it actually just isn't. So, smarter people, you know? They can't tell me what to do. There's caffeine on the house, it's active, radioactive. Loving you felt like dying on the operating table, like climbing a ladder till I give up and fall. Like the anesthesia didn't work, and I feel the creation of every scar. Like a movie I'm chained to.
Wait, really quick, guys, I have to tell you about my GoFundMe for my music career. I have a GoFundMe for my music career starting from $0, raising money for ads to grow my audience and to reach record labels. If things grow, then I will eventually be using that money to turn my YouTube demos into full professional real recordings. And help me to go as far as possible. I bet if you guys will do your best to help me and to invest, you guys could probably turn me into the biggest pop star in the world. It's just going to really depend on how much you guys are willing and able to help me. So please do what you can to help, and I love you. Mwah. Bye.
I have 1 penny to buy this iced coffee, but this is everything you gave me. How did you know the gum on the ground was yours if you've never seen it before? There are no refunds for this part of me. Don't forget where you were when we met. I wanted to be liquidated, but they haven't found me yet. I'll spell it out for you when I'm free. There's disrespect in the water and the liquor can